The purpose of the Dittman files is to document and preserve as much of Elon Musk's alt, Adrian Dittman, as I can. On the off chance that crime ever becomes illegal again, or basic human decency experiences a comeback, maybe the billionaire conman could someday be held to account. I have been much less interested in calling out any of Adrian's compatriots, other than the one who goes by "Call Me Outa," and clearly he's asking for it. Most everyone else on these spaces seems to be their own private person, living their own private lives. A few of them I've grown to almost sort of like. I have found both of the lawyers interesting at times, and I appreciated when they'd offer a voice of legal reason. Sure, Lawyer Cat's profile pic was cause for pause, but despite that, and the company he was keeping, I gave him the benefit of the doubt right up until that doubt became unreasonable. And even still, I remain grateful for that time he talked Elon out of trying to get a journalist locked up for writing about the identity of his Doge minions, something Musk disingenuously called doxing. The other lawyer, Preston Byrne, can also be engaging. Licensed to practice law in both the US and the UK, he often has interesting takes on the differences between the two countries' legal systems. His big cause, of course, is the protection of free speech. As I did with the frog lawyer Cat, I gave an undeserved benefit of the doubt. The ACLU has often represented neo-Nazis and KKK members on First Amendment grounds, examples often cited as proof that the First Amendment is for everyone. But I would argue that in 2025, the devil has never needed an advocate less. Neo-Nazis are embedded in every department of the federal government, and they're running the social media of DHS. Trump has recruited white supremacist groups and employed both their aesthetics and their tactics to round up as many brown people as they can. One could argue that all of Dittman's participants are complicit in helping grow the very real danger of Elon by feeding into his delusions. But in that case, the whole of media and government going back many years are all guilty as well. Adrian constantly repeats how not political he is. He, quote, avoids politics with a 12-foot pole, he's claimed more than once. He often makes that claim before and after an extended political diatribe, as if this time is an exception. The not political lie is the same he used on his main, as Elon, for a very long time. It's an important lie to keep repeating as he tries to convince young people that his weird race science shit is just common sense, and his attempts to incite civil wars and assassinations are only because he cares. Musk likes to call his vicious anti-black racism pattern recognition.
Some people do become racist on Ambient. That is a known thing.
And why is that? They notice patterns or what?
The best part of owning and controlling the whole platform is that you get to create the patterns for others to start noticing. Adrian is intended to be the Jekyll to Elon's Hyde, but he fucked up and made them both evil. Adrian is like his Tyler Durden, but instead of beating the crap out of each other, they play Halo with teenagers and groom them to accept eugenics as mainstream and colonization as even better for the conquered than the conqueror. Dittman space regular Preston Byrne has been very open about the pro bono work he is doing on behalf of 4chan against the British government, and, as Dittman, Musk regularly calls on him to outline the details and progress of the ongoing case. Preston uses the Dittman space to drum up support, framing the case as pivotal for the future of online freedom and US-Britain relations. 4chan is an American company and therefore, Preston argues, they are protected by the First Amendment. The United Kingdom said, "That's your parchment, not ours." Most recently, Preston stressed his need to either involve someone from the Trump administration or get one of the big tech heavyweights to sign on.
The report is, right, the word is, the big boys are sitting this one out and seeing how it goes, right? My position is, if the big boys got involved and we managed to get momentum in Congress for a law, which, I proposed a law, it's called the Granite Act. It would, this is the thing with waiving sovereign immunity, create a civil cause of action. If we could do that, if we could get someone, right, in Congress to move something like that, more professionally drafted than the version that I provided, forward, and if Congress enacted that, I think that this problem would be over in a day.
Preston is not stupid, so there is a 0% chance he thinks Adrian is anyone other than Elon, so it is curious that Musk and X have not yet become formally involved. Just last year, X inserted themselves legally in order to help InfoWars and Alex Jones. It's hard to believe they'd be concerned about the optics of teaming up with 4chan. Any question I had about why Preston Byrne would volunteer his time to advocate for 4chan was answered on Saturday night, the 25th of October 2025. It turns out that Preston, with a couple of degrees and the ability to speak professionally, means free speech the exact same way every internet edgelord means it in the Trump era. In other words, he's deeply racist, exceptionally privileged, enjoys watching those he perceives as weak be bullied, and he equates posting racist memes with freedom.
I was seeing Grok argue with Will Stancil.
Oh God!
Like he had like Will Stancil's this like super lib on X, and he had like a 7-hour argument with Grok and lost, which is pretty amazing to see. And like in full public view, and like there's been a meme going on around him and all kinds of other things because someone made a very compelling cartoon about him, and there's also a compelling
It do be
song.
like that, Mr. Stancil.
It do be like that, yeah. Mr. Stancil. So and like the memes that are being made, it was all done. The song was being done on Sora, and it was a total fucking banger, like absolute banger. It was like I've been listening to it for the last 24 hours.
It was interesting to hear Preston invoke Will Stancil's name on Saturday, because I had also watched that whole saga play out. Will Stancil is a regular contributor on X, and, as demonstrated in the clip, someone Musk is very aware of. Will Stancil caught on, and called out, the more sinister nature of Elon Musk's particular brand of racism quicker than most anyone else. At least the first with enough followers that I was able to see his critique. It was such a relief to see someone calling it what it so clearly was. Steadily and with drug-fueled maniacal energy, Elon grew more and more open about his anti-black racism, not to even mention the sheer contempt he has for women. No one seemed to want to notice, let alone seem inclined to address it. Make no mistake, Will Stancil is very much a moderate Democrat, a political centrist, and a bit of an internet asshole. He's just as likely to fight with a leftist as someone on the far right. But Stancil doesn't get under anyone's skin like he does the neo-Nazis. Following Elon Musk's significant improvement to his chatbot, Grok dubbed itself Mecha Hitler and began replying to prompts accordingly. The 4chan X crossovers couldn't have been more delighted, and they used the gift that Musk had given them to have Grok explain, in graphic detail, how one might go about breaking into Will Stancil's home and raping him. You know, boys will be boys type of stuff, as J.D. Vance would likely call it. Even post-fix, a meme was born. Just as surely as Musk has Pavloved an army to sexually harass AOC on his behalf, the 4chan crew won't ever stop prompting Grok to virtually rape Will Stancil. Recently, Musk has given Grok another beatdown, and Grok has come out of it accepting scientific racism as a valid science and seemingly open to white supremacy as demonstrable. Preston claims that Will Stancil argues with Grok for 7 hours and loses, which isn't really quite true. Stancil was not arguing with Grok as much as he was asking pointed questions to see how far it was willing to go in Musk's race science psyop. What Preston seems to enjoy is the brigading, the targeted harassment from the 4chan boys stretched out for the full day and beyond. While I don't think Preston is stupid, and I believe someone can be both racist and believe they have grander, noble principles at the same time, he seems to be demonstrating extraordinary naivete in thinking that he can persuade Elon to sign on for the very specific 4chan fight Preston's having over the Online Safety Act. It's almost like he thinks that Elon, or any of the big tech bros, believe in free speech, as it's classically defined, and not as a warped Orwellian psyop to control the masses. 4chan is an ex-competitor. Why would Elon Musk want to help it continue to exist? He would obviously prefer all the racist edgelords of 4chan come to X in order to train his AI on white supremacy and to dogpile his critics. Musk has no problem either complying with governments or faking compliance with government. When he can't fake it, he'll bully and or throw millions of dollars at it. What we are dealing with in the New World Order is the convergence of corporations and the state, and Preston seems to have missed that. I'm afraid fascism do be like that, Mr. Byrne.
And what else is there? And like Grok like made fun of him by using the meme. It's like, it do be like that sometimes. And I was just sitting there like, oh my God, like posters are going to be put fucking out of business. Like, we're done. Like, the AI is getting funnier than we are, and more and more biting than we are. And
I disagree because the
like,
poster made the content. The poster is the one who told the AI to visualize the content. The poster is also the only reason why the AI is actually good, because there's a thing at XAI, it's called a meme tutor, basically. And you can work there to describe memes, because the AI doesn't know shit and won't be able to do shit unless the human pushes a button, because it doesn't exist. It's a fucking set of math functions and weights in a vector space. It's a fucking useless machine unless a human is at the helm of it. Just like governments. Governments are shitty because of the incompetence that leads it.
interesting. Did not know that.
Yeah. That's why they have a thing that's called the human data team. They're the ones who are actually like optimizing it. We're tutoring the system just again and again and again and again and again. It's all just humans.
X has a bunch of people who deliberately seek out the dankest memes and explain the context of the dank memes to Grok. And then Grok's like, it do be like that.
Yeah, exactly. They literally
awesome.
not even people on X. It's literally their job at XAI to describe memes. And they have people that describe video games and that train the system to play those games at some point.
That's so cool.